for Mitch too, but I mean, you know better than I would on that, but I see why.
Well, I don't know. It's just an opinion.
What I would say is, if you're looking at these two, and I think just to your point, you're much more likely to lose Marner if you wait till after the playoffs than you are to lose Tavares if you wait till after the playoffs.
For sure.
But you're not going to lose them unless you want to lose.
Who, Tavares?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not going to lose them unless you want to.
That's exactly
Which
it.
Right?
is the conversation that I think is a fascinating one.
Which is why I got to see
Here
it.
we are in the quadruple double down on these four guys.
Mm-hmm.
And the issue right up until going to this into this season was it was too comfortable for them.
Mm-hmm.
Lack of accountability.
Lack of accountability, comfort zone.
Everyone got a
for the
contract that
guys.
was max.
No consequences.
So why
for them.
would you be racing right now to go make John Tavares comfortable?
You're getting the best out of him while he's uncomfortable.
Keep it that way.
Yeah.
Like sign him to a 3-year deal for $15 million, and you're right back in a place where if you do sign Marner, they're all coming back and they could all lose in the first round again. And then where is everybody?
Yeah. You're right. And I also don't hate the idea of the motivation for Marner, too. Contract year, like you're getting a lot out of him right now. He looks fantastic.
He's not motivated. He's not motivated. He's going to get his money.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
You don't think it matters how he plays this year?
Of course it does.
No, it doesn't. No, the Leafs are going to offer him $100 million. Okay? No matter what. Does he want it? Sign. You don't want it?
Yeah.
Bye-bye, I guess. But
I just don't think it's a
that's
crazy thing to say how he plays doesn't matter.
Like, where do you think he's going to fall off the face of the earth that you don't want to sign him?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if
Where?
you think you can get, above 100 points, if he can take a step into, the superstardom category.
It's not the difference between $13 million and whatever he ends up with. He's going to get $13 million. So what if he has a great playoff, maybe it's $14 million. If he goes to a conference final or a Stanley Cup final, then it's what?
Infinity.
Infinity.
$1 billion.
Well,
I'm
just saying I'm not getting into this, but it's a way different feeling between trying to get Tavares signed or Marner.
Absolutely.
Right?
I think it only goes up for Marner.
Tavares is the guy that you got to stay hungry. I don't know what our center ice is going to look like, but if you can come in as a hybrid 2-3 and look like you can battle and get us key points in the playoffs and we go to a conference final and I want to try it for 2 more years, that's an easier sell.
I think with Marner that, there's a baseline that he knows he's going to get. And the pressure, for some of these guys who are in a contract here, they're like, oh my God, if I score 40 goals this year, I might get $4 million extra or whatever. Like there's a baseline, like you said, the 100 million thing, whatever, if that's true or not. But if he only plays better, it's just going to go up.
For sure.
I don't think
that's great for him to have
for
that
sure.
incentive.
But I don't think
that
it
money.
worries as much. Like to his point about the pressure thing and feeling a contract here, I think it's different for a guy like Marner where the baseline is guaranteed
He's
there.
just going to do what he's done every year, and that's be on 100.
Yeah,
he's on a 100-point pace every year, and every year either he's hurt or he's a healthy scratch and he doesn't get it. But for people to say he's not a 100-point guy,
he's not. He's never got 100 points.
Stop it.
He's never got 100
No,
points.
he's a 100-point guy.
He's not.
Hey,
he's literally never got it.
He's a 100-point per game pace guy.
Is Matthews a 70-goal guy?
Okay.
Is Matthews a 70-goal guy?
I mean, yes.
I've got him. I've got him
He's
at
going
a
60.
even if he scored 70, he's not a 70-goal guy.
Not semantics.
It's a career year.
It's not semantics. He did not 100.
All right.
All right.
Are we done with this?
Yeah, we're done.
Good chat.
Fraser Minton. We got a clip from Berube on him.
one
He's going to be he's going to be centering Robertson, who is still getting opportunities. God love him. Let's hear the thoughts on Minton.
Yeah, for sure. He's got a lot of room for growth. He's a young kid that has not had much experience in the NHL for sure, and didn't really get much playing time in the minors before he was called up because we need him. Like, he's just got to keep working on his game and working on, like, reading the play better, and the NHL level, it's quick, right? And, you know, you got to anticipate, and he's a very positionally sound player. You know, I think that it takes time. That's, you know, it's not just going to happen overnight. It's going to take time.
That's interesting.
Right.
Sounds like he'll be going to play with the Marlies.
Sounds more long-term than some of our
Yes,
conversations.
I think it's safe to say, and if he came along 3 years ago,
Yeah.
it would have been perfect for him now to be in that position of, yeah, this is our third line centerman.
Yeah.
But he's not there yet. And in a year where you've got to compete for the Stanley Cup, in all probability, he won't be ready for that.
Yeah. It's interesting comments to say he has to work on reading the play better, and he's very positionally sound in the same sentence. You know, that's interesting to me that he's...
That just sounds like making the decisions faster.
Yeah.
Right?
Knows
it's like
where
a
to be.
faster
and-
league, but,
yeah.
you know.
But that's great. I've said the other day, like, these guys, it'd be better for them to have the puck, be the man, be on the power play, play 20 minutes a night, way better for their development. And that's something good teams have the advantage of doing, where you see bad teams rush players along.
Yeah. Do you want to do the last one on Hawk and Pop?
Just one other thought on like Robertson being in there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's big picture stuff. I think it's in mind of keep him out there, keep him playing, and whatever value there is out there. And I know the numbers stink, but if I'm a team out there, I'd seriously consider trading for him.
I would too.
I don't have to give too much up. I don't know. Do you think you can get a third rounder for him?
You guys would be the worst pro scouts
Right?
ever.
I think you could get a third rounder for him.
Yeah.
Maybe a fourth. I don't think a second,
No.
but
A second?
He's a pretty decent hockey
he's
player.
young.
You know,
he's
if
young
he
and
can-
he's got some
yeah.
upside.
He does.
Sammy, I don't know.
I just like my whole identity is crapping all over this guy, so I'm just going to shut up. Like,
I don't
feel like
know.
all I ever do is crap
don't
on him,
think,
and I feel bad.
I don't think
so.
on a contending team he's in a position to think that he can be a top six, but I don't know that for sure. But I think teams should be willing to give him a look-see.
I don't think it's impossible that he has a games where he score, a clump of games
You
where he
saw
scores a bunch
something
of goals.
when you predicted what
Yes.
20 goals, 25 goals.
Yeah.
You saw something.
Yeah.
And we saw something when he had almost 15 goals last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a unique shooter.
So I get if the Leafs want to keep him in the mix without completely dumping on a
I mean,
asset.
the best thing to ever happen for him is that everyone's injured. What else are you going to do?
I
Who's
know.
in?
But
Who's in
you
next?
could have Dewar or Steves in there.
No.
Saturday
No,
night.
they're in too.
Right?
Everyone's
Oh,
in.
no. So who's out?
Alex
Nobody.
Nylander.
Oh, Alex Nylander's.
Oh,
out.
Alex
yeah, you're
Nylander's
right,
out.
you're right, you're
and
right,
Reeves
you're right.
is still suspended.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
All
I mean,
right.
he's better
Yeah.
than Alex Nylander.
Yes.
All right, let's
Yeah.
go to break and get to
Yeah.
Okay.
Get
Bunk
Bunker
show.
All right. JD.
We got Bunk.
Yeah, buddy.
Does that mean I can go for a coffee? Because no one talks more than this guy.
He's gonna carry us through.
All right. JD Bunkus, when we return, co-host of Leaf Talk and the JD Bunkus podcast.
The Leafs center dilemma: who can strengthen the roster? If you're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan like me, you know the team's center depth has been a constant concern this season. With Austin Matthews set to return from a mysterious upper body injury next week, the excitement of having our star back is palpable. However, there are still serious issues to address in the center position to keep the team competitive and, of course, fuel our playoff dreams. David Kampf, a key piece in the center rotation, is sidelined with a lower body injury. As if that weren't enough, Kaye Jarnkrok is still recovering from surgery, leaving another gap in the lineup. Max Domi, expected to be a versatile asset, has been placed on injured reserve, further aggravating the situation after missing consecutive practices due to lingering pains. To sum it up, the Leafs are missing 4 functional centers, and the pressure to act is mounting. James Myrtle, a respected Leafs analyst and contributor to The Athletic, highlighted a series of potential trade targets to address this dilemma during his appearance on the JD Bunkies podcast. Among the names mentioned, 2 stood out: Nick Jugstad and, for the nostalgic fans, a possible reunion with Ryan O'Reilly. Jugstad seems to be Myrtle's favorite, and for good reason. The player, who signed a 2-year deal with the Utah Hockey Club last offseason, carries a manageable $2.1 million cap hit, which is essential for a team as salary cap-strapped as the Leafs. Additionally, standing at 6 feet 6 inches and weighing 205 pounds, he would bring not only physicality but also consistent offensive contributions. Jugstad is the most viable option for the Leafs right now, Myrtle stated on the podcast. And he's right. Experienced and versatile, Jugstad has played for several teams, including the Florida Panthers, Pittsburgh Penguins, Minnesota Wild, and Edmonton Oilers, and could quickly adapt to the Leafs' dynamic. With an affordable contract and a solid track record, he offers a practical solution without sacrificing too many future assets. However, it's impossible to ignore the possibility of a Ryan O'Reilly return. Yes, we know he chose the Nashville Predators last summer in search of a quieter environment, but the Leafs management still holds him in high regard. The 2019 Stanley Cup winning captain with the St. Louis Blues is precisely the type of player any contender would love to have on their roster. However, the cost of bringing him back would be steep, both in terms of trade assets and cap space adjustments, as Nashville or a third team would need to retain part of his salary. I don't think the O'Reilly scenario is entirely out of reach, Myrtle said, showing that there's optimism within the organization. However, there are doubts about how much it's worth investing in a 33-year-old player, even with his impeccable credentials. Meanwhile, cheaper internal options like Steven Lorentz, Connor Dewar, Pontus Holmberg, and Fraser Minton have been mentioned. But let's be honest, these names might serve as short-term stopgaps, but they're far from offering the stability and impact the team needs. The pressure is all on GM Brad Treliving. He knows that despite the Leafs' solid performance so far, the center position is crucial to sustaining any championship aspirations. With the trade deadline approaching, Treliving has likely intensified his efforts to finalize a deal. And we, the fans, are eagerly awaiting good news. For now, all we can do is trust that the team can weather this tough phase and hope a solution, whether it's Jugstad, O'Reilly, or another name, arrives before things spiral out of control. After all, as we all know, the Leafs don't have the luxury of wasting another season with a promising but incomplete roster. The time to act is now. The Leafs center dilemma, expanding on the potential solutions. The Toronto Maple Leafs, amidst another promising yet tumultuous season, face one of their most pressing challenges, addressing a depleted center lineup that threatens to derail their momentum. While the return of Auston Matthews is a beacon